What's going on, guys? So in this video I wanted to go over a little bit about my story, as some of you guys are curious about that, and kind of like, some background behind me, and also maybe you guys will find some inspiration with my journey on making YouTube automation happen, and kind of the origin story of how the YouTube automation business model was originally formed. So let's just hop into it. So since I was 11 years old, I've always had some type of hustle on me. I mean, I've always been a hustler since I was 11. I mean, I was making websites for people. I was trying to figure out like HTML and all this other stuff. And I was very ambitious since a young age. And I don't know if it was necessarily intentional. I wasn't thinking about being an entrepreneur. I didn't know what being an entrepreneur meant. I didn't know what running a business truly meant. I just was trying to get some side money so I could afford various stuff I wanted in my life when I was younger. I wanted to play video games. That was a big passion of mine. So the only way to afford the most recent video game at 11 years old was to obviously try to make websites for people online and sell it to people. That's been just how I started, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I slowly started to figure it out as I went along. And in most of life, that's what's gonna be. I mean, you go into something like YouTube automation, the chances are, guys, you're gonna figure it out as you go. You're not gonna have all the answers immediately. That's not how this game works. Life is about figuring it out as you go. And so don't be sitting on your butt all day long planning and strategizing. That stuff doesn't matter in the end of the day. It just matters that you keep moving forward and improving as you go. So from 11 years old to about 16 years of age, I was playing with a video game called Minecraft, and I would always make videos on YouTube, and this is kind of how my video passion came into the play. I started to learn about video cameras and everything, and trying to play video games and show off my screen and stuff like that when I was a kid, so my friends could watch me, and I would also maybe meet some random kids out there and stuff that I could be friends with, and make them laugh on YouTube. It was always a passion of mine to make people laugh on YouTube and to be a YouTuber, right? And it was started to kind of form. My idea of what I wanted to become started to form around this time frame. And along this journey, I obviously created several little businesses for myself, making a few $100s here and there per month. And one of them was a Minecraft server. For people who don't know the backstory of the video game Minecraft, essentially Minecraft has the ability where you can create a in-game, almost like an in-app purchase within the video game, and you can make all the profits yourself. And so I would charge special benefits to play with me in my own little server, in my own little world, and kids would play with me and pay a certain amount of money to be able to play with me. And so I started to make some good money that way, and I slowly started to realize how powerful in general building a little business could be in selling little products. Not only that, but this is without me realizing, I started to learn about influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is essentially where it's obviously the power of social media, using a YouTube channel, get that traffic and move that traffic to a product page, right? And what I started to do was I started to go out there, find other YouTubers, and I started saying, hey, if you promote my Minecraft server, I'll give you little benefits within the game. And sure enough, they did it for free. So they started to promote my Minecraft server, and all these kids, hundreds of kids, would show up to my Minecraft server and pay me money to work with me, or to play with me and everything. So it was honestly a successful business without me even really realizing it, and I started to learn about how powerful YouTube was because of it. So at 16 years of age, that's when reality came into play. I was only making like $300-400 a month at the time from a mix of the Minecraft businesses and YouTube, and so that's not enough to obviously pay bills. And so at that point in time, it came into reality that I needed to kind of grow up at 16, and I needed to actually get a normal job. So at 16, what I decided to do was I decided to work at this one fast food chain that the rest of my friends were working at. And so that's the job I picked up. I was getting paid $8 an hour. And honestly, obviously most people know this, fast food is not a fun job to have, but it was good. It allowed me to understand certain things about work ethic and a bunch of other stuff through that, and also learn how a real business is ran in the first place. And so it gave me a lot of good experience and good wisdom in the process. Now, unfortunately, because most fast food places are this way, most fast food places are ran by someone who's about 23, 24 years of age. And so the management wasn't the greatest. And so I decided, all right, after 3 or 4 months, I was like, I cannot work here. This is not even a future of mine. This is just to make some side income. I don't, want to be stuck here, because I was getting paid less than everybody else, and I was working more hours and more shifts than everybody. So I was kind of upset about the whole thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit and I want to make YouTube happen. I want to give it one more shot. Like, I need to make it happen. Like, it's my dream, and I gotta make my dream come true, especially if I'm young. And thankfully, I started all of this when I was young. It's not like impossible, but it does make it more difficult when you obviously have responsibilities like kids and all this other stuff, and you're older and you're living on your own. So thankfully, I started at a younger age when that stuff wasn't really the issue. And so I went ahead and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make something happen. So it took a lot of work, but I pretty much told my parents, I was like, look, how can we negotiate where I can drop out of high school for 6 months, and if I make $3,000 a month at the end of the 6 months from YouTube, will you let me officially drop out of high school and make this whole YouTube thing a reality? My mom obviously said absolutely not, but my dad was actually thinking through it and was like, you know what? It would be nice to see if you could do it. Let's just see what would happen. So he told me to draw out a business plan and all this other stuff, which I did. He was like, all right, go for it and try to make something happen. So that gave me the permission and the ability to put all of my effort and energy into it, which was really, really awesome. And I needed that. So the first thing I did, I had about $300, $200 in my bank account at the time from the fast food chain. And so what I did is I went on YouTube and I found this one YouTuber. I did a lot of deep dive research into this guy. And he got over 1 million subscribers in just about 3 to 4 months, which is game changing, obviously. And I was like, this guy knows how YouTube works. I need to get a mentor and I need to learn from this guy. He knows what's up. Essentially what I did is I reached out to him by sending like a donation, right? So he was live streaming a Q&A, and I sent out a donation and I put $200, which was practically every single dollar I had. And I put $200 as a donation, and obviously it pops up in the chat feed saying, you know, whatever person donated to you, and then a little text box that I could add a message to say to the person by donating. And what I said was like, hey, look, can you please get into a phone call with me just 15 minutes? This is literally almost all the money I have. Can we get into a phone call? I really, really want to talk. The guy was like, all right, sure, why not? You know what I mean? $200 is not normal for people to donate that kind of money. So I got into a phone call with this guy, and I just begged him. I was like, look, man, I want to make YouTube a reality. You know what you're doing. What I can do for you is I have some editing experience, and I would love to make edits for you and videos for you for free. All I need in exchange is knowledge and understanding on how this YouTube game works so I can make it a reality for me. And he thought about it. He was like, you know what? What I'll do is I'll go ahead and send you this one video idea. I need you to make the whole thing. I need you to do the narration. I need you to do the script for it. I need you to edit it. You have to make the whole video. And we'll see how you do with that. So sure enough, it was about 5 p.m. or so when he gave me that assignment. I stayed up till almost about 7 a.m. just working on that video. I was trying to make it the best video ever. When I look back on the video, it was the trashiest video ever, but obviously, like, for me, it was really good, right, compared to my skill level. And so I put so much energy into it, stayed up late just to make it the best I possibly could, because I wanted to impress this guy to have a chance to work for free, which is actually kind of ironic. So I gave it over to him. He was like, you know, this is all right. Like, that's literally what he said. He's like, this is all right. You can work with me. You know what I mean? He wasn't like, this is amazing. He was just like, all right. I'm like, oh, okay. I see this guy's gonna be tough to work with. So from there, he gave me the chance to make it happen. And from there, it was game on. And so I put together a lot of videos for him, doing the whole thing, narration, you know, literally doing the whole thing for him. And then over time, about, 2-3 months in, I impressed him. And he was like, you know what? I want to make sure you're getting paid for this work. So what I'll do is I'll give you a percentage of all the money that your videos make on my channel. I was like, sick. So I got a little percentage, and my money started to stack and accumulate over time. And then I was like, all right, now it's time for me to do this myself and go my own pathway on YouTube. And so I started to create more and more YouTube channels for myself. And sure enough, my first YouTube channel I made for myself got 80,000 subscribers in just 3 months. Just like that. And I was like, I know what I'm doing at this point. Like, it's game on. And from there, like, that's when I finally, like, showed my parents, hey, I'm making the money. And they're like, all right, you can make this a reality. And I actually dropped out of high school and officially made it happen. So it was a lot of work, though. I mean, I don't want people to think that this is easy, this process is easy. I mean, the truth is, for you, it's not going to be easy either. It took a lot of sacrifice, putting my money out there to this guy, hoping that he even gets in a phone call with me in the first place. And, it was all the money I had. But I'm happy looking back that I put all that money into it, because it brought me so many amazing mentors and people in the process. And one thing I totally forgot to mention was, because I impressed the guy so much, he ended up adding me into a mastermind group we had where we would get on Skype calls literally every day for about 6-7 hours a day with a bunch of other YouTubers. There's about 10 of us in the group, and one of them was Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast today has over like 80 million subscribers, and so that relationship and connection over time obviously helped a lot as well, and getting experience from him. At the time he only had about like 800k subscribers or so. So all this stuff really pays off if you're willing to put the work in, and it slowly can compound. And so today I run so many YouTube channels, and I figured out how to make it where it's smart, where I put the automation and factor into it, and I came up with the idea of literally doing what I did myself, except hire people to do it for me, where instead now I hire script writers, narrators, video editors, the whole crew to make the video for me, and then my team is now making the video ideas. I oversee it, they make the thumbnails, and literally we just have a whole automation assembly line for these videos, all be made for us by hiring people out there like freelancers on Upwork.com, Fiverr, a bunch of other websites out there. And so, it slowly started to turn into this. I mean, me just running through this, it may have been a quick 7-8 minutes or whatever, but the truth is, guys, this took 5 years to be where I am today. And so to put all the systems in place, to train the right people, it's a long process. But the good thing is you're in this course, and in this course, I'm literally going to be able to speed up the process for you by about 3 years, just because there was no systems in place, no idea what I was doing when I started out, but all of that stuff is now taken care of for you, and I put it all in this course. And so that would speed up the process more for you. However, that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight either. It still will take some time even on top of that. So what I'm trying to say is it takes time, and you got to go into this with the mindset of working hard, working smart, and just constantly going at it. It's not going to happen quickly, and I don't want anyone to expect them to take off in less than 6 months, because the truth is, like, I barely took off in that amount of time frame to be able to make a full-time living. And so I want your intention and mindset in this to be very more long-term, more towards the 6 to 12 month range rather than before that. I think too many people get into this and expect to be getting, thousands and thousands of dollars after 3-4 months of hard work, and that's not the reality. And so make sure you go into this with the right intention, and that will set you up long term so you don't quit too soon. Now, when it comes down to the other stuff that I've been able to do with myself, through all of this understanding, experience, and knowledge, it opened up so many other opportunities. I worked with Preston Plays. Preston Plays has over 15 million subscribers and a bunch of other subscribers on other channels he runs and everything. And I worked with them for some stuff that they did and everything, with some consulting, coming up with some video ideas, that kind of thing that went viral for them. And so, these doors were all open for me because I developed these skill sets over time. And so I'm just saying, for you guys, develop your skill sets with this business model, and it can open up so many more doors than just a YouTube channel, right? And I think that's something that people need to be remembering. It's a bigger picture. Don't be so centered on the small picture, right? Yes, everybody wants one YouTube channel to be making 3, 5, even 10K a month, at least a month. Everybody wants that, but there's so much bigger world out there and opportunities. There's channels that we have that make 100K a month, right? There's so much more opportunity in this world, but you have to be smart about it and be thinking bigger vision than the small vision. That should be your mindset with it. And so, I can't wait to mentor you. I can't wait to get to know every single one of you that goes through this course. Make sure you join our Facebook group and everything, as I'm always trying to help people out, and my team is always active helping people out. And I just want to see the amount of impact we can make in people's lives, and see how many people we can get to a full-time income doing the business model that I put together over the last 5 years. And so that's pretty much my story in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a lot of ins and outs and things that I've had to deal with throughout the course. Maybe I'll give some tips on how to deal with that stuff, or on the Facebook group that we have. It's not easy. There's a lot of highs and lows in the process. But in a nutshell, that's who I am. That's what I've gone through. And today, at this point in our company, we have over 150 people working with me. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to know that you have these YouTube channels where I only have to put like an hour or so a week of work into it, and it automatically runs on autopilot, making me so much passive income every single month. It's a dream. It's a dream come true, but it took a lot of work to be here today. And so I want to try to help as many of you guys to be in a similar position one day, but it requires work. And so go into this with that mindset, and you'll be good off. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this, and take care.